Did y'all know I'm a pilot? Yeah, I'm officially a private pilot now. After hours and hours and hours of studying, watching mock orals, doing this, that, even participating in mock orals. Finally a pilot. I had my check ride last week on Thursday, so I've been a pilot for officially a week now. Finally did what most people who start flight training hope to do. It took me a long time to get my license. I started flight training on June 24th, I think, and I had my check ride on June 26th the next year. So it took me a year and 2 days to get my license. I had about 80 hours of training and flying around before going into the check ride, which is double the minimums, but it's around the norm of hour range where people have their check ride. In this video, I'm going to go over what the check ride is like, what's going to go on the check ride, and how to pass your check ride with ease, because I did not do it with ease. I did it, just not with ease. Alright, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the ACS, the Airman Certification Standard. Every pilot in training working towards a rating should read through the ACS. It is a booklet commonly found online. It's also in ForeFlight under documents, or it's in the hands of the DPE. I think you can also order it on Amazon as well. The ACS shows all the tasks required for any rating, so private, instrument, commercial, airline, and within those standards, there's also single engine, land, sea, multi-engine, all that stuff. The ACS is also beneficial to doing your written, as well as when you get your written test score report. When you get your score report, the wrong answers are going to have a code on it, and that code is basically which section inside the ACS you miss. Alright, studying for the check ride. Now, there's multiple different ways you can study for the check ride. I'm not going to tell you which one works for you. You're just going to have to try them out. But there's 3 ones that I've done. Well, technically 4. I didn't write in the script, but there's 3 that I've done. So mock orals. Mock orals are very crucial to studying for a check ride, and is one of the things that helped me a lot for my check ride. On the drive to the airport, falling asleep at night, or whenever I got the chance to sit down for an hour, I'd pull up YouTube and I would watch mock orals. I'd also do them with some of my friends. They're actually kind of fun in my opinion, where you're like being quizzed on questions, and if your friend is a private pilot or a commercial pilot or a ground instructor or flight instructor, and they want to do a mock oral with you, it'll give you an idea of which questions you're possibly going to miss on the check ride, so you can brush up on those topics. Study guides are also very important for the oral part on your check ride too. Study guides have a lot of questions that could be possibly asked by DPE, and also general questions for the plane type that you're in. I also have a video of me reading through a check ride, not a check ride. I have a video of me reading through a study guide. Link will be down in the description below. Though some of the things are wrong because I do have a stutter, so bear with me on that. Like on the medical question, it's actually 60 months, not 72 months. But yeah, it's a few months old. Now Quizlets. Quizlets are kind of fun to do in my opinion. My girlfriend loves Quizlets, but I don't really care for Quizlets. But if you can find like a private pilot oral exam guide on Quizlet and you just brush up with those, that could be also very beneficial as well. Now, the next part about the check ride is being organized for it. Being prepared for the check ride is one thing, but being organized is also a whole nother thing. DPEs are going to be big sticklers. That's why you're watching this video. You're nervous for your check ride and need me to explain it to you. And that's okay, because I didn't have anyone to explain this to me. It was just all research. So having a folder for your check ride is very beneficial. Being able to find something and pull it out really quickly for him when he asks is very crucial. You don't want to piss him off. Trust me, you don't. In my check ride folder, I have the check ride fee, an airworthiness checklist, a navlog, weather briefing, and ICAO flight plan because he wanted me to do one. You can handwrite the ICAO flight plan, or you can just print it from ForeFlight. Just make sure that the equipment in your plane is correct, because it was wrong on mine, and he gave me a ton of shit for it being wrong. Alright, now weird questions on the check ride. There's going to be a few things that are going to be weird on this check ride. I'm pulling up my notes right now so I can read it off to you. So on my check ride, he said a few things that didn't make sense to me, which is going to sound stupid. But he did say something about kick your feet over the horizon, which means just pull up like really high so like your feet are over the horizon. He also did go over accelerated stalls on the oral, like what happens if because he'll be like, what happens if you stall again after recovering from a spin? And I'm like, well, because when you pull too much G's, it's called an accelerated stall. You'll perform the maneuver for that on the commercial check ride. I know this because my flight instructor told me it's required on the commercial check ride, but I didn't know the knowledge of it was for private as well, but good thing I got that right. And also, what ceiling makes it IFR? That question got me as well. Taxiway centerline lights. I fly out of airports that don't have runway or taxiway centerline lights. That's why we have to use the landing light on the ground. But if you train out of an airport, or if you don't even train out of an airport like that, it's still good to study up on what color your lights are. Alright, to the check ride itself, on the check ride, there were many questions I didn't know the answer to, which is okay, because the DPE is not looking for perfection. He's looking for something that we use in school, higher order thinking. It's okay if you don't know a question. The oral test is open book, so you can have a FAR aim, you can have this chart supplement, you can have almost anything you want that's not considered cheating. For example, he asked a question about preventative maintenance. Now, I don't think any one of us know everything we can do as a private pilot. What I said to him was, I don't know everything I could do as a private pilot, so I need to check Federal Aviation Part 43 Appendix A to see what I would need. Also, he did ask that for the medical. It's not in 67, it's in 61. I don't know the exact regulation off the top of my head, but it's like in the beginning, it's like 61, I think. No, I was right. It's 6123. So if he asks you a medical question and you don't know off the top of your head, check 6123. Also, brush up on scenarios. I daydream a lot and come up with different scenarios in my head. That's just the person I am. A DPE can ask you any question. So like, for example, you and your friends are flying from Albert Wood Airport to Marco Island, Florida to go to the beach. One of your friends gets sick up in the air. What would you do? And it would be like questions like that. The scenarios are built to test your judgment as a pilot. If you don't have good judgment, probably not going to be a good pilot. Brush up on your scenarios and what you do. Now, what is required on the check ride, like what to do? So on the check ride, we did numerous of things. We did slow flight, some foggle work, unusual attitudes, tracking VORs, S-turns, steep turns, no GPS operation. Same thing for no iPad. So like he literally turned off the tracking on the iPad and then he switched the GPS to another page so I couldn't see the map. Or the map, not the nap. Fucking nap. Oh yeah, short and soft field takeoffs and landings. That's required on every check ride, I think, because if you go to an airport that's either grass or a very short runway, you gotta know how to land on that or take off. Clearing turns. The clearing turns are important to show your DPA that you're safe to do maneuvers and like the area is clear. That's really about it. Everything you do in your flight training is going to be on the check ride, so just make sure you're brushed up on all that. If you have an instructor that wants you to do a mock flight portion, do it with another instructor so they can see how you fly, because a DPE doesn't know how you fly. You're meeting them for the first time and flying with them for the first time. And also, you're going into this check ride as a private pilot, not a student pilot. When the DPE makes you electronically sign that form on IACRA, you're acting as PIC as you would as a private pilot. I like to think that I'm as a private pilot, but you gotta impress your DPE with the way you fly and your knowledge to be able to stay as a private pilot. If you're a student pilot who needs help with any topic, comment that topic down below, please, and I'll make a video on it as soon as possible. Hopefully you learned something in this video about check rides and the process for them. If you did, make sure to hit that like button down below and subscribe down below as well. I'm also going to start making some real world flying videos just for entertainment purposes. I don't know, I just feel like they're kind of fun to watch. Trust me, I watch a lot of them. And as always, happy flying. And hopefully, if you have a check ride soon, you'll pass.